So it's the day after the big game. Leeds 3, Liverpool 4 in our very first game of the Premier League season. I waited until after the game. I waited until the next day actually to film my reaction, just so that I wasn't speaking so much on pure emotion, because I was gutted. I was gutted at the end of the game, and I felt that if I had done a reaction straight after the game, there and there, I would have said things that were unfair and just kind of in the heat of the result. So I've had a day to settle down, and that's usually the best time to give my thoughts on any kind of match. I think the first thing that needs to be said is Leeds were phenomenal. We were outstanding today, and the players, Bielsa, the coaches, they all deserve huge amounts of credit for the performance that they showed out there and how they played. Going to the home of the champions and beating them in terms of possession, showing quality to get in behind the back line, pressuring Liverpool into making some horrific defensive errors. There was a lot we did right, and it far outweighs the things that we did wrong. I'll get into the player ratings in a minute, but I just wanted a little bit more on the game as a whole. Leeds, we matched Liverpool blow for blow. The effort that was put in, the running across the entire pitch. There were a lot of performers there in a Leeds shirt that were second to none, that had absolutely outstanding performances. And as a whole, as a collective, they stood up and they were counted for against the Premier League champions, one of the best sides in English football. And rightly so, there is a lot of praise for Leeds, this team at the moment. Started the game off in a rough fashion, because you never want to go a goal down early on against these teams. That's exactly what we did. It was a soft penalty. I watched it back. It takes a deflection off Robin Koch's thigh to bounce it up to his hand, and he can do nothing about it. He's not able to move out of the way. Should his arms be out there? It's a soft penalty, right? Sometimes they're given, sometimes they're not. We're just going to have to kind of swallow that and move on. Salah buries the penalty, and at that point you're really thinking that we could be really in for a hammering here. This could be another Norwich. But the lads responded so well. They didn't let their heads drop. They continued to play their game. An absolutely exquisite pass from Calvin. Kind of high diagonal ball out to the left-hand side to find Harrison. Jack takes a superb first touch. His touch is probably one of the deftest in the teams. Cushions the ball perfectly, dinks it around Trent Alexander-Arnold, making him look like an absolute mug. Sent him for a kebab. Dummies the ball away from Joe Gomez as well. Eyes up Alisson, and then smashes the ball low at the near post, and it's 1-1, we've equalised. And I think just that goal alone shows the quality that we had on the counter-attack, on the break, and the fact that we didn't let our heads drop after going a goal behind. We were always up for it. We were up for the fight. And not many of our leads lasted too long. Again, you could say Koch was at fault for the second goal. Van Dijk smashing in the header. He wasn't unmarked. I think Koch got blocked off trying to track his man, but Van Dijk gets away free and powers the ball in, crumples Meslier into the goal. Not a lot you can do about it. And again, the press, the energy from Leeds takes an effect. The ball's played back. Van Dijk he's staring at it. He's like, oh, what am I going to do with this? Probably got half a mind on what he's going to have for dinner, and thinking about what kind of trick he's going to do with it. Completely fluffs the clearance. Don't know if he was trying to flick it on or whatever. Bamford nicks it off him. Takes a touch and then dinks it just over Alisson into the corner, and it's 2-2 again. Patrick had a fantastic game. There was an incident before that where he should have scored, but we'll get to the individual players. That lead lasts for about 2 minutes, and then another corner. These set pieces we have to do a little bit better. But Stroud manages to get a little bit of a touch on the ball, headering it back. Salah, this is what top quality world class strikers do in the box. They're so canny about it. He waits, predicts the ball's going to come back to him. It falls perfectly for him, and he absolutely leathers it into the top bins, the top corner. Again, Meslier can do nothing about it. No keeper can. That's a world class strike. And the third goal, third equaliser for Leeds, is just pure good play. It's just free-flowing football at its very best. The Bielsa ball. We nick the ball off of a Liverpool throw. The ball gets passed out to Helder Costa out wide. Klich makes a run, gets completely free from his man. The ball is kind of fizzed into him through the Liverpool back line, and we've got 6 players in the box at this point. The desire to get in there, the hunger. Klich takes a sublime first touch, uses the momentum of the ball to kind of dink up into the air, and then on the volley smashes it at close range with his right foot in past Alisson. It's an amazing goal, and all of the Leeds team goals, they came from open play, more than we can say for Liverpool. We held on for so long, and then I did think potentially at the 3, because it was 3-3 at around the 70th minute, and you think there's 20 minutes left, there's probably going to be a winning goal here. And Liverpool started coming, they kept coming, they came, they pressed hard, didn't give us any room to breathe, but we were holding on, we were keeping our shape defensively. And then Rodrigo, it's a striker's challenge, you know, not defensive minded at all. It's a stupid challenge, and it is a stonewall penalty. It is. There's no debate. He leaves a leg out on Fabinho. Fabinho goes down like a sack of bricks. Salah steps up, completes his hat trick, and it's 4-3. And I was gutted. Last minute winners, they always hurt. But more so because I felt we deserved something from this game, and how important it will be to pick up points in this division. That could come back to haunt us, but there are so many positives to take from it. The team were brilliant, collectively, as a whole. I don't think anyone expected us to play as well as we did. And there will be a lot of teams thinking that they can come up against Leeds, thinking that we're going to be a pushover, and they'll roll over and get the 3 points. And they're in for a real rude awakening. But I'm so proud of the boys. They played their hearts out on that pitch today. They gave everything for it. Gutted that we didn't get a result. I'll go through the player ratings. I thought Meslier was superb in goal. Looked really, really assured. I know, you let in 4 goals, you can't give him necessarily the highest score, but there wasn't a whole lot he could have done about a lot of the goals. 2 of them were penalties, and 1 was an unstoppable, world-class rifle shot. And he made some really vital saves to keep the scoreline from being any more embarrassing, I guess. So Meslier for me gets a 7. Ayling gets a 7 for me as well. He kept Mane quiet throughout the game. I don't feel Mane got the run on him at all. He did make some forward runs, and he was made captain in a side that lost Cooper in the just before the game. So he had a lot of responsibility there. Maybe didn't organise or lead the backline well enough. The centre backs, Strauch and Koch. Listen, it was a makeshift defence. We put it together last minute. Some new players to the team, lost our captain. There was going to be some shaky moments. I don't think that our defence had their best of games today. I'll go with a 5 for them, I think. Dallas spent the majority of the game crunching into the Liverpool players, which was great to see. But his job was to keep Salah quiet today, and Salah got the run on him a few times. Salah had a fantastic game. He was world class today. So it was tricky for Dallas to get into the game. I'll give him a 6. Phillips Calvin was sensational today. I'm giving him a 9. As we thought in the previews, he won that midfield battle for me, broke up everything that Liverpool tried to do, was a constant force in moving the ball forwards. Passes were pinpoint accuracy. A fantastic performance from Calvin. Pablo, he was a little bit quiet in this game. Didn't really step up to the heights that he normally does. Maybe it was because he was starting, and maybe the pace of the game kind of flew by him a little bit. I'll give him a 6. Klich was amazing. He really stepped up. A real animal, kind of just consistently running, pressing, causing Liverpool problems. And the 3rd goal was unbelievably well taken. I'm going to give Klich a 9. For me, Harrison and Costa were both superb on the wing. Showed the willingness to get forwards. In individually brilliant performances. We saw what Harrison could offer, beating one of the best in England in Trent Alexander-Arnold, making him look like a complete fool, and took his goal fantastically. Costa was instrumental to a lot of the stuff that the midfield was doing, picking out some great passes and showing his pace. I'd rate both of them 8 out of 10 for the wingers. Patrick Bamford, he didn't have a lot of the ball, didn't feel, throughout the game. But the work rate, which we all know from Pat, was you couldn't fault it. ran his heart out the entire game. Took his goal well. Could have scored another. Yeah, no, a really good performance from him. And compared to Rodrigo, who was brought on, you really see what Patrick brings to the team. So I'd give Bamford an 8. Subs that came on, Shackleton didn't really kind of have enough time to make an impact at that time. Liverpool were already kind of suffocating us out in the dying embers of the game. Rodrigo, I'm going to give a 4. It wasn't the best of debuts for the Spanish international, but I'm sure, let's not be disheartened. I'm sure we'll see the very best that he has to offer in future games. I'd certainly start him up against Hull in the is it a League Cup game? I'd start him there just to get some minutes and to get some of that rust off, For me, Rodrigo gets a 4 this game. And Roberts coming on for Hernandez. For me, I would have swapped the other way around. I'd have started Roberts, brought Hernandez on. But I think, Tyler Roberts, he did a job when he came on. He did what he needed to do, filled in some of the gaps in the midfield. I definitely think we need added quality in that area. The likes of a Rodrigo de Paul, wherever that deal may or may not be at this point in time. Because I think it is a step above that we need, rather than bringing on the likes of Roberts. But he didn't do too badly. I'll give him a 6, standard 6 for that performance. Overall, the team, they played phenomenal. They did really, really well. And yeah, it is gutting to know that we didn't take anything from that game, but there are positives, right? My only worry, moving forwards, is we're going to go into the next 2 games against teams that are probably going to play quite defensive. Fulham, Sheffield United, known for their defensive setups, and we know that in an open game like the Leeds Liverpool game, there is space for us to exploit and get goals. I wasn't too bothered about losing to Liverpool at the start of the day, because that's not where we need to get points. We need to get points against a Fulham, against a Sheffield United. That's where we need to get the results. If we don't perform like we did today against them, then today means nothing. Having said that, I am excited about what I've seen. I've bought into the dream, and the Premier League they are in for a shock. And there's a lot of teams that think that they're going to come to Elland Road or play up against Leeds, thinking they're going to get all 3 points incredibly easily, and that's just not going to be the case. Areas we need to improve: the defence. I think it showed how much we missed Cooper last night, and we do need, I think, another centre. Bring in another centre back. Struijk isn't quite Premier League level ready just yet, in my opinion. But take nothing away from the boys. They left everything out there on the pitch, and it was a fantastic performance. That's going to be it for my review of the Liverpool 4, Leeds United 3 game. Let me know what you guys thought of the performance, and let me know what you guys think about the next game. We play Hull on Wednesday. Let me know what you think the score will be for that, and who you'd like to see starting. That's going to be all from me. Remember to like, comment and subscribe if you are enjoying the content. March on together, support the team, support the channel, and as always, stay safe.